Hi everyone, welcome to Decimal Point Analytics Unplugged. I am Supriya Praveen, your host for today. Today, we're diving into the exciting world of SBA lending with our special guest, Nilanjan Das, Executive VP of DPA. Neil brings over 25 years of experience from global banks like Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank. Neil, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Supriya. Very excited to be here. Thank you for bringing me in your podcast. Looking forward.
Great. Let's just get started with the first question. Could you please tell us more about your role at DPA?
So I'm responsible for business development for Decimal Point Analytics in the US. I'm based in Greater New York area, and I have clients across the US. We, among various industries, we have a strategic focus on credit-oriented clients like lenders and private credit funds. Also across a vast swathe of alternate asset managers and banks. So, as a part of my job, I try to identify market opportunities where Decimal Point has the skills and capabilities and the experience to deliver very high quality of services. So, for example, we know that there is a significant opportunity in the SBA lending market, and it is my endeavor to bring Decimal Point's expertise to the lenders to deliver top-notch work that we do.
That sounds very exciting. Could you explain what SBA is and why there is a great opportunity in this space?
Right. Great question. SBA or Small Business Administration, that's a full form, is a lending program administered by the federal government in the US. US has several programs that incentivize lenders to supply capital to small businesses and commercial enterprises. SBA is one such Congress approved program where the federal government effectively underwrites 75% or more of the loan value, which is extended by a lender, provided the lender and the borrower meet certain criteria and the loan is performing for a certain period after disbursement. Now, because this is a government guaranteed loan, the product is extremely profitable for a lender if administered correctly and if the lender can build a good track record. Because the lender can afford to keep aside a very low risk capital to back up that loan. So that way, a lot of lenders are interested in this kind of loan. Also, but on the other side, since SBA department is actually needs to approve every loan either directly or indirectly, there is a lot of focus on lending standards, documentation, and process adherence, which are far more stringent than comparable business loans. So when I say indirectly, sometimes some of the big lenders are classified as called as PLP, which is preferred lending partner, which means they can approve the loan on SBA's behalf, which means the responsibility is now with the lender also to be very strict in due diligence. And that's actually where Decimal Point comes in, and we can talk about that.
Wow, that's interesting. So could you explain more about how Decimal Point assists in this process?
Yeah. So as I've said, partnering with the Decimal Point for pre-underwriting, underwriting, and the loan processing gives a great advantage to an SBA lender based in the US. So let me explain why. Just to give you a background context, the SBA loan market has been booming in 2024. Overall, there are about 1,500 lenders in the market, but actually the top 100 or 200 matter in terms of size and volume and reach across the US. Um, and The approved loan amount industry-wide was about 25 to 27 billion dollars for each of the years 2022 and 2023. But during the first 6 months of this year, 2024 alone, the same amount has been reached, which is almost $25 billion. Some of the top tier lenders that we know of have achieved their last year's volume target within the first 3 or 4 months this year itself. So that kind of loan growth is really spectacular. and it's bringing in more lenders into the market, which is significantly increasing competition. At the same time, because of this direct lending, of the strict lending standards and processes, the lenders cannot afford to dilute their standards just to process applications faster. If they need to do that, they have to add more resources, which will increase their cost and affect their margins. So it's a kind of situation where the lenders have to be correct about their resource strategy and their location strategy. Some of the smartest lenders we know, I mean, they know how to keep their cost of acquisition low. It is reported that in the SBA market, the cost of acquisition per client is almost $10,000, which is very high compared to other kind of loans. So unless the lenders bring it down, they will find difficult to compete in this market.
Wow, that's some great numbers. Thanks for sharing that. So you explained why lenders need a partner like Decimal Point. Could you also tell us what exactly DPA brings to the table?
Right. Yeah, that's a great question. And in fact, I was coming to that. So how we address lenders. So we have, I can think of, four value propositions that we bring to the table to an SBA lender. The first and very important is, of course, operation stability and quality control. So we have very robust SOPs or standard operating procedures and checklists to ensure that the quality output matching SBA administration standards and process continuity. Second is we, as I spoke about, we ensure lower customer acquisition cost for a lender. So our value model, which has operations based out of India and trained underwriters, we assure 50% reduction in the operational cost within the customer acquisition cost bucket. And third is, we have a unique way to leverage the time zone difference between US and India, and we ensure a faster turnaround time. It is very effective, for example, at the pre-underwriting stage or at the loan acquisition stage for a lender. So for give an example, let's say a lender's business development officer or the sales guy gets an application today. They need to check all the application details, all the documents, and talk to the applicant immediately, maybe by the next day morning, because very likely there is also a competition bank who is kind of approaching the same client. So in our case, if we are working with the lender, so the business development guy, the BDO will basically ship the entire application to Decimal Point. We will work on it during our daytime, which is nighttime US. And the next day before he is in office, the loan package, which all the information is ready for him. So the response can be, hey, we find the application to be creditworthy, or we see some documents missing, or something else needs to be done. And the business development guy can immediately get into a call with the applicant saying, what's the next step? So, his foot is already inside the door, and it's a high probability that, he can get into that account. So that was third. And maybe the fourth point is, since we have been working with significant SBA lenders for a very long time, we already have a team of well-trained people on board. So that gives us flexibility to mount a team of associates and underwriters who are fully trained within a matter of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So clients love our flexibility and quick time to market. So if they need a person, they can have one within 3 weeks time versus, if they want to hire someone in the US, they'll be lucky if they get someone in 3 months. So that also adds to our value prop to the client.
Wow, that's very impressive. So definitely DPA stands out and the USP is very clear. So another question that's coming up is you mentioned that DPA has been working for a long time on SBA. Could you give some more details on that?
Yeah, so So I think we have gained a good amount of size and traction in this market. We did account over the last 2.5 years or so. We have processed more than 3,000 SBI loan applications. Total value could be anywhere like 2.5 to $3 billion. I think that's a significant, it's a big deal because considering that the annual approved loan amount industry wide is about 25 to $30 billion. So we have a good presence and a growing presence in this market. And this success is thanks to our client who are important players in this market and have placed a lot of faith in us, in our people. So one must remember that this is a very well regulated industry where the lender's reputation is very important. So it is Decimal Point's principal objective that all the guardrails are in place to protect our clients' reputation and business. We achieve this through continuous training and keeping up to date with the SBA processes. SBA has modified their processes significantly over the last 6 months or so, but we ensure that our team members are always staying on top of all these changes.
That's great to hear. So, what developments do you see in the near future?
Yeah, I think a lot of things are changing. It's a dynamic place, and SBA is a truly forward-thinking organization, even though it has been in existence for some time. Um, and there are many new initiatives, like bringing on board green lenders, like including short-term capital, working capital loans within the SBA approved loan category, and this I'm sure will broaden the market. The SBA market has been in a tier this year, because the traditional banks have been withdrawing from the space of small business lending because probably of their own liquidity or risk concerns. And that space is being captured by the SBA lenders. And we see that, I see that at least the SBA lending will keep growing within the traditional product category, the term loan category, and in the new spaces. So we are also responding to the market shifts and have many things planned to grow and help our clients. Decimal Point has recently been accredited by the SBI administration with respect to a client. SBI had reviewed our records thoroughly and gave us approval, which is a testament to the quality and the standards that we adhere to. We are a very recent member of NAGLE. So NAGLE is the apex community of SBA lenders in the US. It is quite a prestigious part of the community to work with members to contribute to the growth and prosperity of the small business lending community. In fact, we are attending a SBA conference next week in the New York, which is called the America East SBA Conference. It's on the second week of August. I hope to meet some of the senior members of the community there, and we'll try to network and work with them.
Great. All the best for your event. And thanks for sharing all the insights, Neil. It's been very helpful. And that concludes today's episode of Decimal Point Analytics Unplugged. Thank you, listeners. I hope you found this discussion informative and insightful. Be sure to tune in next time for more conversations on industry trends. Until next time, this is Supriya signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.